All right, everybody, this is one of those busy days because this is going to be a little more freestyle for what we're doing here. So, hello, this is your old pal, Hannibal Collector, and today's movie was day 5, and that was People Under the Stairs. The People Under the Stairs is probably one of my favorite Wes Craven movies that I don't watch as often as I should. So shout out to whoever suggested The People Under the Stairs. It's been a while since I watched it, and it holds up today just as much as it did back in 1991. Has a fantastic cast, has a predominantly of color, mostly black cast in this film, and it addresses issues in a way that aren't just, beating you over the head as a lot of movies do nowadays. I know there's supposed to be a remake coming with Jordan Peele, and I can think of no one else but Jordan Peele to really make an updated version of this movie. I just hope that he keeps the tone a little more under the surface as well. The story follows a boy named Fool. His family is about to be evicted, and his mother has cancer and can't afford the treatments. Enter Ving Rhames as what I think is the boyfriend. He plays Leroy. Leroy says that he knows that the landlords are hoarding secret money, so they should break and enter and steal that money, and that would handle all their problems. So after some convincing, Fool agrees. They enlist a guy named Spencer, and now they have a trio to do a break and entering job. They start out with Fool dressed up as a Boy Scout, trying to say he has to use the restroom and gain access inside the house to case out the place. Unfortunately, mommy ain't having it. So that doesn't work. He comes back and they're like, we'll try something else. Spencer's like, no.
Boy to do a man's job.
He suits up in a utility worker outfit and he goes to try to gain access. Now, mommy's pretty sharp. She looked down and she saw his ring, so she knew he wasn't a utility worker. So she let him gain access because this is what mommy and daddy do, as we'll learn. So he gets in and he never comes out. Now, Leroy is telling Fool that he thinks Spencer's trying to cut them out, so they need to go back over there and check on Spencer. Mommy and daddy have pulled out and left, so they're like, well, let's go. So the doors are locked. They can't get in. They're trying to break in. They finally gain access, and after a row with a big old Rottweiler looking dog, which shows the bonding between Leroy and Fool. Fool doesn't leave him behind, and then they kind of work well together. So it kind of gives that, father-son feeling to it. They split up and start looking for Spencer. Fool finds Spencer's body, that is. In the basement, he finds Spencer killed and the people under the stairs. These pale, creepy kids, and he tells it out of there. At this point, mommy and daddy have returned. They know someone's in the house because the door's being blocked, so they're trying to break back in. At this point, Leroy and Fool are trying to find a way out. The windows, everything changed shut. They can't get out. It kind of reminds me of The Collection. Do you remember when once they get in, it's basically a giant trap? It's like the dog gets back out. They have to fight the dog. The door handle is electrified because Fool had already got electrocuted once and thrown to the ground. He knew the only way to help Leroy was to grab Leroy while the dog was grabbing him and grab the doorknob and electrocute them both. So the dog's knocked out. Leroy and him tried to get away. They get upstairs. They find hiding spots. Unfortunately, Leroy gets found and he's shot. So now it's just Fool. Fool makes his way into this little girl's room. Her name is Alice. She's dressed really nice, prim and proper, really meek. And he learns from Alice that the people under the stairs are kidnapped children that didn't behave. So they live under the stairs, and they are essentially cannibals now because they eat human flesh. They get fed human flesh. Mommy and daddy also eat human flesh. And the way Alice has managed to survive is she just behaves and takes whatever harsh punishments, and they're harsh punishments that come her way. And that's how she's managed to survive this. We also meet Roach. Roach lives inside the walls. Roach is one of the children under the stairs that escaped. His tongue is cut out because he tried to call out for help once. So he's managed to evade mommy and daddy by having a labyrinth that he built inside the walls of the property. They have all these little trap doors and slides and everything else. Roach is great. So with the help of Roach and Alice, Fool does manage to get away. And in the whole process, Roach is killed.
Roach!
But he does pass on some gold coins to Fool. And Alice doesn't get away. She's afraid to make this jump that has to happen.
Alice! What's out there?
There he is! Ah!
So Fool gets away. Alice is grabbed back. He gets home. We find out the gold coins are plenty for handling their rent issues for many, many years.
Well, figuring the rarity of these, you do have enough to pay your rent for a while. Say to the year 2000.
And that now he can handle the medical bills that are going to come from his mother's cancer treatments.
And Mama's operation?
And your mama's operation.
And honestly, that could have been the end of it right there, right? Like, that's a good story, and he gets away and just has that style of not everything's tied up neatly, but Fool's life is better now. But Fool, this is what we like about Fool. Fool is, he's not that kind of person. Alice helped him. Roach died helping him. He's got to help Alice. So what he does is he calls up Child Protective Services. They go out there to investigate. Of course, Mommy and Daddy are really good at working the system. So they got their cookies baked, they got their coffee. All these cops are walking everywhere. The house is locked tight. Looks like a regular house with a lot of antique furniture. And they make a comment like, "Wow, you don't get this, I forget what they said, but let's just say Walmart.
Nice furniture. You didn't get that stuff at Price Club, that's for sure."
And and it's like, yeah, it's been our family. This used to be a funeral home. We learn this stuff goes on. Let's do a quick stop there. What we also learn after Fool does this is the old man that tells him he's got enough money for everything, that the Robinsons are not husband and wife.
Wait a minute, brother and sister?
Brother and sister. Tail end of the craziest family you ever heard of. Every generation more insane than the one before it. Started out as a family running a funeral home, selling cheap coffins for expensive prices. And they got their fingers in the real estate, started making a lot of money, taking over people's homes. The more money they got, the greedier they got. The greedier they got, the crazier they got. All sorts of rumors about what's going on in that place.
Mommy and Daddy convince the cops, yada, yada, yada. The cops leave. And you think, wow, it didn't work. But our boy Fool is not so much a fool. He knew that was going to be what happened. He knew these white folks were not going to be able. We're basically going to be able to convince these guys to leave. He just did that so they would open the doors so he could gain access back to the house. So Fool hid up in the cupboards when everyone left and everything. And it's not going to be an easy ordeal here. He goes looking for Alice. Alice is no longer in her room. She is tied up in the dungeon. So Mommy and Daddy discover him before he discovers Alice, and he's on the run. Luckily, he's using Roach's back wall tunnels. He eventually finds Alice, helps to free Alice. Alice helps to free him, and he tells the people under the stairs who are kind of protecting him now that if they work with him, he can get them out of there. So
If you can get past the man. The door to the outside cellar got left open. There you can get outside. The sun, to the birds, to the women.
They're working hard to help him. They also show him, one of the people under the stairs shows him the entire secret treasure of coins and money and everything is just piled up in this room.
No wonder there's no money in the kiddo.
There's also some dynamite there. So while Alice is trying to get out, while she's trying to make it out, Mommy captures her. But then there's somebody at the door. And it's basically everyone from the neighborhood, including Fool's family.
All I see here are a couple of
Hey, Ruby, she's right here.
Is that right? Busted your ass, bitch.
It's like, what you gonna do? You're gonna shoot all of us? Yada yada. Then that lady closes the door and everything else. So people are beating on the door. So the mommy can't escape. The people on the stairs have come up and they're attacking mommy. And with the help of the people under the stairs, Alice manages to stab and unalive mommy. So mommy has been handled. Downstairs where the treasure is, daddy runs in and he's about to kill Fool, but Fool goes, it's shown him he has the dynamite hooked up, and he said,
I don't want to kill you, but I will because I don't like you much anyway.
so the guy goes and tries to take a shot at Fool. Fool ignites the dynamite. It blows up, knocking Fool back, blowing the house open. So now the people under the stairs are able to escape. Alice is also able to escape. The money is flying all the way up everywhere in the air. So all the residents are grabbing it in the air. All the poor residents are grabbing the money, and Fool makes it out as well. And that's the story. Like, basically,
Okay.
they defeated mommy and daddy, freed Alice. The
For like $1 million.
people under the stairs are now roaming free. We don't know how that's going to work out. And the residents are a little richer than they were yesterday. And this is written and directed by Wes Craven. This movie is from 1991. Now, this is before the other movies, but it has Candyman vibes. It has Jordan Peele style movie vibes. It has the Collector kind of vibes. This is kind of a reverse home invasion, right? Like, basically, it's a attempt to escape this home. So I would refer to this as a reverse home invasion. But I absolutely love this movie. And guys, I'm sorry for the choppiness of this. I'm very tired, but I want to make sure these all get made. And I got to go back and edit this, of course. So hopefully we've got enough content here. But that was day 5 of my 31 days of Halloween. I will see you next time for day 6. Until next time, this is your old pal, Hannibal Collector, signing off.